Welcome to Talk About Topeka Live, coming to you from the Topeka Performing Arts Center. And this Food Flair and Fun segment features Uncle Bo's Blues Bar at the downtown Ramada, and it's brought to you by Field of Greens, downtown's healthy spot for lunch every day. So we have Suki, Willison. I'm your host, Chris Schultz, here on this endeavor into one of my favorite little spots here in Topeka, Uncle Bo's. And it wouldn't be possible if we didn't have somebody like Suki here in Topeka, who has been so tied in with the entertainment world, to know so many people, and to call Topeka home and to bring that here. It takes a lot of work, and it's not always appreciated. And you keep going. You've done it for years, and you keep doing it. And that's why you're here on this show today, to celebrate you as one of Topeka's superstars.
Oh, thank you.
Because you just keep going, no matter what it throws at you. And right before the segment started, we were talking about just how one person can come up to you and make all the difference in the world, right?
They'll just say one nice thing, and I think, okay, well, I can go another year on that.
Yeah.
Just one little encouragement, or that was the best show I ever saw, or some little something like that. And then you keep thinking, I need to keep doing this. It's a good thing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So. And let's rewind a bit. So how did you get into making all these connections in the music industry?
Oh, I don't know.
You've just been doing it.
just doing it for a long time, and then you get to know people, and then.
We were only 29, so you've been doing this
I know.
for maybe 10 years?
Yeah, a couple 10 years. Well, we were talking to the magician, and when I was growing up, everybody had bands in their garage. That's what you did after school, is you played in a band. Well, out of all that bands in all the neighborhoods, I mean, that's where the Kansas was, and that's where the people, some of big people have gone on to do sound and lights for Earth, Wind, and Fire, but it all kind of came at that time, because that's what we did after school. And I was never talented in any way to do anything like that, but I could hear real well, and I could call people up and use my milk money to call people, and then you get a little job. And it was real fun, because a friend of mine found, his mother had kept our little cards of where we played, or where the bands played, and we'd always go to K&I every Christmas and do a show there. And it had free on the deal, and so I do remember going there, and how that you would have thought the Rolling Stones were there. I mean, it was it was just so I don't know if there was a little bug got in there or something. I don't know.
Do you think, going back to that time when the garage bands were the things, and you were growing up in that scene, pop music back then versus pop music now, was it more social, you feel? I mean, I feel, I'm leading this question clearly.
No, that's okay.
But now someone can pull up a computer, and if they've put the time, they can compose something completely by themselves. But really, there was the social interaction of creating something back in those times.
It had to be real.
It had to be real.
Yeah.
It had to be a team effort. It had to be something that was more than just one mind creating a song. Right.
It had to be a team, because and it had to be real, and it had to be practiced and performed, in front of a lot of people. And now we kind of make some steps. They kind of perform it before they've ever done it in front of people.
Yeah.
I mean, on the videos and stuff, rather than like performing in front of people. So
you used to just only get that attention after they'd done it hundreds and hundreds of times.
Yeah. And if you look back, like there was some studios out in California, and I can't remember the soundboard that they have. I can't remember the name of it, but you had one take. And if everybody, like Fleetwood Mac went there, and Tom Petty, and all the big ones, but they had one take that they had to, if then anybody in that team made a goof, they had to start the whole tape all over. So it took like a long time, but the things you hear on the records are the one take perfect songs. And you I just got goosebumps. How could you just do that? It's phenomenal. Those artists could do that in one take, all of them, perfectly. And that's what you hear on the old records and stuff, how they would do that. And now which doesn't make it makes it a little easier on the artist, because if there's a little goof up, they can do a little changeover.
Yeah. And what's it like working with those artists, you know, and the bands that come through Uncle Bo's, and you worked with the Blues Society, so you do like the
Festivals,
the festival at July 4th, and
all
all
over.
That.
Well, we keep trying to do as many things as we can in Topeka, so they have live music. But it's like any profession. I think you get in and it kind of becomes kind of family-ish. Mm-hmm. You know, the blues world. You know each other. You keep in touch with each other. Our media now is so nice, because you can they can talk about their families, but you can actually see them on Facebook or wherever, and it's nice to watch them grow as musicians, and also their careers grow, and it's really funny. I just talked to a friend out of Nashville, and there was a person that had come through, and he writes for Joe Bonamassa. He's kind of a big deal, and so anyway, he wants to go out on tour, and she said to him, she goes, "Do you realize that all these bigger musicians that you want to be like, that are touring, went through the Midwest and did the loop?" We call it the Midwestern loop. You know, Chicago and Omaha and Topeka, and then Kansas City and on down. That they made it in the Midwestern area with their fans, and they continued to come here in our area to build their careers, and now they're doing things like, we can't touch them. I mean, I can't, because I don't have enough seating where we are for the ticket price. But that doesn't mean that they didn't start. You know, Samantha Fish was coming in there at 17 and playing with Trampled Underfoot as a guest. And so you look back on that, and when people say something, well, you know, sometimes you have people come up and go, "Well, I'm from Florida." Well, so, you know, and then you have the artist that's playing there go, you know, this is our home in Topeka. Yeah. And we couldn't do this without Topeka.
Well, and as an entertainer, as an artist, you always want to be refining your craft, getting better at it, and, you know, there are manufactured plaques on Broadway that say, if you think your act is good, try it in Topeka. Yeah. And those of us who are around here, we know that. You know, we are a very discerning crowd. You know, we want to make sure that and we demand that people get better. And that's people who are very serious artists who want to get better. That's a good environment for them to be around. It's affordable for them to be able to live in an area like this. Because if they're living out in LA, they have to just spend all their money living in LA, and they don't have the time.
Well, and there's so much.
Yeah.
You know, they just have to be really good here. Get their bones, get their fans. Every person sitting out there that has bought a ticket to come in or stood out in the lobby to get a signature, that person is gonna be a fan for life. They're going to buy a CD. They're going to buy a T-shirt. They're going to come to your shows. Each and every one of them make you better. You know.
Well, and a big event that I know you've helped out with every year, the Ramada does a huge New Year's party.
Yeah,
and a couple of years ago, we did a video production where we interviews with the people who were coming through, and these are world-class entertainers. These guys are from all over the place. They've come here to Topeka. And, you know, I got to sit down and have interviews with each one of them. And pretty much all of them, when I said, "So what brings you to Topeka?" You know, because there's a thing in my mind. A lot of the acts, when they're coming to Uncle Bo's, it is that, as you said, a smaller venue. It doesn't have a whole lot of seats. And you have to keep the ticket prices affordable for people to be able to afford. And they could make a lot of money, and they do in other communities in bigger places. And a lot of these acts that come here, they take a chance. They all do that, and they all said that they do it because of Suki Willison.
Oh, no.
That's what they all said. And they do it because of you, and that's because you make it a great experience for them, and they enjoy what they're doing, and it's a great stop, and it's a great little spot to see some world-class entertainment all the time at Uncle Bo's. And Suki is a gem for the community as far as bringing that here in Topeka. So.
It's been lovely for me to do that, and you do so much to promote that, and so it just takes a whole team of people.
That's right, as I say, it takes a whole village, and I'm not afraid to be that village idiot.
Yeah,
so
ongoing.
That's right. That's right.
Ongoing.
Well, I want to thank you so much for dropping
Thank
by
you.
and speaking with us.
Sure.
Uncle
I
Bo's.
want to give you the New Year's lineup.
Oh, yeah, let's do that.
We've got our New Year's lineup for this year.
Yeah, tell us who's going to be on the show.
This year, we're going to go all tribute. We're going to go 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and we're going to have an Elvis impersonator, and we're going to have ZZ Top tribute come in. We're going to have Allman Brothers tribute. We're going to do Boogie Wonderland and do a big disco. So if they have platform shoes and bell bottoms, get those out with all the mirror balls. I've never seen so many mirror balls in my life. And then we're going to do the Motown, where you get all the 60s My Girl and stuff. So everybody can dress up how they want to and come on down. And I think the tickets are going to start October 15th. And you can get your room and dinner and breakfast and champagne and balloons. And are you going to come over?
Of course, it's the biggest party in the city. For New Year's Eve, you have to check out the Ramada.
You have to come over.
And I know it is that much cooler because you've got really dedicated people like Suki here who make sure that you're going to have a great time for it. And you can get yourself a room. You can just enjoy the evening.
Just be there and be safe.
Split it up. Yeah. Different rooms have different themes, so you'll have it's different era for each room.
Yeah.
So you'll be able to, at your own pace, experience whichever era you want to.
And Hamilton Loomis will be there on the big stage at the end, and he does Hamilton Loomis, all his songs, and then he also does some Purple Rain, and we'll get into some of that too. So I'm excited. It's going to be fun. I hope people dress up.
Absolutely. What should they dress up like?
Whatever era they liked.
Okay.
Surely maybe they still have their platforms, or maybe they can find them someplace online. I think they have them online still.
I've got a powder blue leisure suit.
There you go.
If that works.
Something kind of leave it open with the chain. And,
I can do it. Pull it off. I know I can.
A big hat, big pimp hat. Here you go. That's Chris.
I like it. I like that this is going.
Yeah.
All right. Well, come out and celebrate New Year's Eve with us, of course, at the Ramada. And, of course, all the events that go on out there at Uncle Bo's. UncleBo's.com is the website. Find them on Facebook. Give them a like there. And when you see Suki, thank her for all of her hard work because it's not easy what she does. Not at all. It is very difficult. There's a lot of arrangement that goes into making sure that these acts get into town, get what they need, have a great experience here, and you figured that secret
Just got to make it look like nothing happens in the back.
That's right.
When the artist is throwing up and can't get up on stage or something.
Then you step up there.
And,
and you wear your pimp hat.
Yeah, I do. Okay, we're going to figure this out.
All right, well, Suki, thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
And please come back and keep us updated on what's going on at Uncle Bo's and the Ramada.
That was wonderful.
You bet. And this segment was brought to you by Field of Greens, downtown's best spot for a healthy lunch every business day. We know your mom would be proud because our mom works there, and she'll tell her to be proud. Right?
She's great.
So, all right, Suki Willison, thank you, folks.
Thank you, guys.
We'll see you back on the next episode of Talk About Topeka.